What's up everybody, my name is Moss Norman, and in today's video we're going to talk about the product owner role in Agile methodology. At a very high level, I'm going to cover what a product owner is, why we need the product owner role, and then finally we're going to talk about the day-to-day responsibilities of a product owner. So first things first, what is a product owner? A product owner is a member of an Agile team who is responsible for managing the backlog of work items for their Scrum team. And remember that a backlog is basically just a list of work items that the Scrum team needs to complete, and the work items in the backlog, we refer to those as user stories. The product owner is responsible for adding new user stories to the backlog and prioritizing those user stories. Now you may be asking, why do we need the product owner role to begin with? Well, in Agile methodology, there's a sort of feedback loop between the customer and the Scrum team who implements the customer's requirements. In between the customer and the Scrum team, there are multiple roles that facilitate the breakdown of customer requirements into more detailed, actionable work items. That first starts with the product manager, who defines a certain number of features that need to be implemented in order to satisfy a customer's requirement. And those features that the product manager defines are then cascaded down to the Scrum teams, and there's typically multiple Scrum teams, and for each Scrum team there is a product owner. The product owner should have technical expertise in their particular domain. For instance, there might be a Scrum team that is responsible for the UI of a web application. The UI Scrum team's product owner should have some domain expertise around designing UIs so that they can accept new features from the product manager and then break those features down into actionable items that the Scrum team can implement. So it's not uncommon for a product owner to have previously been a member of a Scrum team as an engineer. For instance, the UI product owner might have previously been a front-end engineer before becoming a product owner. Next, let's talk about what a product owner does on a day-to-day basis. The product owner participates in a number of Agile ceremonies, starting with the daily stand-up. The daily stand-up gives the product owner an idea of what the team is working on and keeps them in the loop while the team is working through a sprint. It also gives the Scrum team a chance to raise impediments and maybe external dependencies that the product owner should be aware of. Secondly, the product owner will also attend retrospectives, where the team can discuss what went well and where they need to improve in future iterations. The product owner should also be performing backlog refinement on a regular basis. That means looking through their team's backlog of work items, reprioritizing the priority of certain work items if needed, breaking down stories that are too large to be worked on in a single sprint into smaller stories, and also identifying and closing out stories that are no longer relevant or have become obsolete. Also, there's an official backlog refinement session that the product owner holds with the entire team. And in this backlog refinement session, the team estimates high priority stories. And by estimation, I mean they're estimating the workload, the expected workload, or how difficult a story is to complete. This session also gives the Scrum team a chance to clarify ambiguities that might be present in user stories, and it will prompt the product owner to provide further detail in perhaps the user story description or even the acceptance criteria of the story. The next Agile ceremony is sprint planning. The product owner attends sprint planning with the entire team, and in sprint planning the product owner will specify what stories are highest priority and should go into the next sprint. The product owner is also responsible for holding end of sprint demos and showing what the team worked on during the sprint. Now, besides Agile ceremonies, there's also two other very important day-to-day responsibilities that the product owner role has. First, the product owner is responsible for collaborating across Scrum teams and working with other product owners to identify external dependencies. Identifying these dependencies will allow the product owner to schedule and plan work accordingly. The other responsibility the product owner has is monitoring the velocity across sprints for their Scrum team. In doing so, allows the product owner to better understand the capacity of the team per sprint and plan their work items according to that capacity, to their team's capacity. That sums up the product owner role in a nutshell. I hope you enjoyed this video and that it gave you a little bit more insight into what a product owner is and what they do on a day-to-day basis. If you liked the video, please consider throwing a like on it and subscribing to the channel for more videos. If you have any questions, comments, or feedback, please let me know in the comments below. And thanks for watching.